I have been recapping the Queen's Court all season long, and y'all really want to hear from Norman. I did too. So here we have Norman. Okay, somebody we should have saw a lot more on the show, but here we are to answer some of my questions, get to know him a little bit better. Welcome to the channel, Norman. It's good to see you. I want to know, tell me where you are today. Tell me a little bit more about who you are outside of the show.
So outside of the show, I'm a realtor here in Atlanta, in South Carolina. Um, I also act, of course. I do like film and television. I've
Okay.
been focusing a lot on that. I have a show that I'm about to be working on that I can't really,
Okay.
yeah, I can't really talk about, but that's in January, and then I have two
Okay.
movies that I'm working on as well.
Oh, you
But
busy.
yeah, I'm staying out, staying out the way and in the way at the same time.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what made you want to go on the Queen's Court. Were you scouted? Did you apply? Tell me about that process a little bit.
Actually, it's funny because it happened on Facebook.
Okay.
Somebody, yeah, one of the casting directors, she got in my messages and was just like, "Yo, you would be perfect." She said it just like this, "Yo, you would be perfect for this show that I'm casting
Uh-huh.
for." I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not going on no dating show. So then she told me, she kind of gave me a hint about what it was and everything. And I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Let me try it out, because
Mhm.
I've done online dating and it completely sucks.
Yeah.
It's a online dating is more of a quantity versus quality thing. It's more quantity on there. And to me, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, so that's how it happened. And then it was extensive interviews. Oh my God. Psyche evals, all kinds
Okay.
of stuff that we had to go through to get on the show. Countless interviews and stuff like that. It was really, we had to clean up our Instagrams and social media. It was like a lot,
Okay. How
you
long was that process?
I would say about 2 months, maybe 2, 3 months, something like that. It
Mhm.
took a while. We didn't end up filming until last year around October, around this time last year.
Oh,
So
okay.
when I got casted for it, it was around maybe July-ish, and
Okay.
it went all the way up until it was time to actually film. So it
So
was,
about 4 or 5 months.
yeah, it was crazy. It was
Okay. Wow. Because sometimes we feel like they don't really be doing background checks on some of these shows. So
yeah, they do
like, where
all
you
of
placing
that.
these people?
Yeah, it's all of that. Oh my God, I'm talking about they're in all your business. I mean, from top to bottom, they want to know everything. They contact people and find out stuff. It's crazy. But
Okay. So going into the show, what were kind of like your expectations, or what were you looking for in maybe a partner? Did you have any expectations?
I I went into the show blind. I really didn't know what to expect. I never done something at that well with those kind of people on it. Celebrity women. It was because that in itself can be a little intimidating. Not really, but it can, because the expectations are higher.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know what they are. I've dated. I've done a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not to drop no names or anything, but it was scary because I didn't really like grasp that concept that they had to live by. It was crazy. So as a celebrity, things are different. You can't
Yeah.
go to the grocery store. You can't just go sit at dinner and
Mm-hmm.
and it just be normal. So I was nervous about that going into the show because I'm like, man, if I meet somebody and I actually like them,
Mm-hmm.
what am I gonna do? Am I gonna stick it out or just fold? And yeah, I still don't know because I didn't get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Right.
So going into the show, you really want to find a partner. You weren't there just for TV. Did you know about any of the women who were gonna be on the show?
No, Honestly, when we walk down the stairs,
Yeah.
it's just blind, completely blind. You don't know what's going on. You don't know
Oh,
what to
wow.
expect, who to expect. That's scary in itself because you have to go down there and you actually have to like these people.
Yeah.
So it could have been
It's
anybody
cameras in
down.
your face.
Yeah, it could have been anybody, anything down there. You don't know what's going on. So it was nerve wracking, but that to me, I think is like the scariest part of doing something like that is just the blind date part. Is
Mhm.
kind of crazy.
So when you walked down them stairs, you really had no idea about any of the women who were on the show?
Not even the slightest. And it was crazy. You know what's funny is when we were set up to walk down the stairs,
Mhm.
they paused for a second and up ran Lisa Raye's assistant, and it's her cousin. So I'm like, her cousin Stacy. So I'm like, wait a minute. But it's too late. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
stairs and action is coming after she gets all the way up to the top of the stairs. There's no
yeah,
turning back at this point. So that was the first sign, but then she could have been working on anything. So I
yeah.
really didn't know for
Mhm.
sure until I walked down those stairs, and yeah, it was bad, honestly. I
And
shut
then
down immediately. You hear me?
okay, because when you walked down them stairs and saw Lisa, what was your initial reaction?
I was in complete shock. Like, I mean, come on, you walking down the stairs on a dating show and you see your ex's mom.
As
It's
one of
like,
the
come on.
women.
Yeah, of all the women in the world, the celebrities, Lisa Raye, like, come on, who would have thought that? And then I'm thinking, like, maybe she wouldn't be on no show like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt it. I I was in my head the whole time, and when I seen her face, I knew that it was gonna be it was gonna be a long day, you know.
Mhm,
So it really took me out the game, honestly,
mhm,
because I shut down and it didn't allow me to be myself at that point. So nobody really got to see me
mhm.
in that mixer, in that first mixer. It was like I walked down the stairs and they're like, all the guys are like, yo, what's wrong with Norm? Like, why he was just turned up backstage and making us all laugh and all
Yeah.
this and that, and now he's just in shell shock. Like, I couldn't explain it because I
Mhm.
didn't want what came out to come out. So yeah, it was rough.
So you see her, you freeze, and then I guess she asks you to go out on a date. Where does your mind go?
We gonna rewind because that's
Okay,
not. Yeah, let's rewind just a little bit. So
okay,
I was I was at the mixer talking to K Michelle,
okay.
and they pulled me. And this is what they're not showing on television. They pulled me away from K Michelle and told me to stand at this table. So I'm like,
'Cause I remember you
hey,
standing at the table,
yeah, I'm like,
and it
why
was
am I
awkward.
standing at this table by myself? So then K Michelle walks over to me and grabs my arm. And she's
Mhm.
like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think I'm okay. I mean, they put me here to stand here. She was trying to stop whatever was about to happen from happening. And
Oh.
the producers would not let her. They kept pulling her away from me. And she's like, yo, I just want to talk to him. Like, let me talk to him and all this, that, and the
Mhm.
fourth. And then they pulled her, and on comes Lisa Raye, and I'm like, no way, this is happening. You know what I'm saying? It's no possible way that they're doing this live like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
It sounds like they had been talking a little bit and had a plan once that the connection had been made that y'all knew each other.
right, and
Yeah.
we didn't actually say anything to each other about
Yeah.
knowing each other, but she must have said something to the producers along the lines of, "Oh, well, he dated my kid." You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Because I didn't think that's what I was coming there for. You get what I'm saying? I thought that
Mhm.
we were on a dating show and not Family Feud.
Yeah, because we see her in the confessional say, like, I think I know him from somewhere. And then when he say his name, he dated my daughter.
and that's all fake because I mean I was mad about that as well because I'm like Lisa Raye, I just spoke to you. Like when her mom called, passed, I made sure that I contacted her.
Mm-hmm.
We talk every freaking holiday. It's like, come on, this is 13 years of a connection that her and I still had up until that
Oh
point,
wow.
So it wasn't like some I didn't recognize him. She knew exactly who I was, and everybody seen that. Like,
Okay.
come on.
So
Yeah,
you're giving us a little behind the scenes tea right now.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like giving some production manipulation.
Yeah, yeah, you know how it is. TV is
Yes.
what they want you to see, what they want you to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, there's things that go on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like I handled it wrong as well. Like, and I mean, that takes a grown person, because I should have acknowledged the fact that I knew her,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in shock, so I couldn't. My judgment was off, but. Um, because after speaking with her, I agreed that I should have handled it that way. But then there's a flip side to it. Why didn't she handle it that way? Like, if I didn't bring it up, why didn't she bring it up? We're two human beings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't fully blame myself. I blame us both because we should have had a conversation.
Do you
And
think that would have changed things?
oh, it absolutely would have changed everything. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me to see the show to actually own up to my part that I played in it, because I mean, don't nobody want to, especially when I talk to her all the time, it's like, you wouldn't want somebody to walk by you that and not speak to you. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's offensive. So
Yeah.
that could have triggered her to react the way she did. But I was in my mind, I was trying to protect us from the 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 other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it just didn't work my way, but my
Mm-hmm.
judgment was off. So, but I own up to that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a part of being a man is taking accountability for your part that you
Yeah.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So
So then we get to the scene where she asks you out. She asks you to go on a date with her, a one-on-one.
yeah,
And so were you kind of thinking, okay, what's about to happen? What were your thoughts about that?
I thought she was trying to keep me on the show,
Oh.
so that's why I went along with it because I could have said, no, I'm not going on no date with you. But I'm thinking, all right, she's going to get me to the next episode and we'll separate like that. We'll have our conversations and hash everything out. And
Mhm.
he'll go on to liking one of the other girls. And
And
that's
continue on.
right.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought that we had that kind of bond. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I was wrong.
You were leaning on the history that y'all had, not this being a
Right.
TV show and producers in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that we had a connection at that point because we were sitting there the whole time smiling at each other, and I'm thinking like, yo, this could go either way. But it
Mhm.
definitely didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go.
Did you have any thoughts about actually dating Lisa? 'Cause some people ask that too.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I would never do something like that. And I noticed that a lot of people did come at it that way, like this is weird, like why would he be going on a date with her? And I'm just like, that's not how. But then my thing is, what they're saying is, why would I go on a date with her? But they're not questioning the fact that I was asked
Yeah.
on this date. You get what I'm saying? If you want to solve a problem, you got to go to the root. You
Mhm.
can't solve the problem at the top of the tree. You get what I'm saying? You got to go down to the bottom to see what the roots is like.
Yeah.
Because that's where everything starts. But people didn't do that. They just jumped right on my back, like, oh, well, why would he go on it? Why would he turn her down? But no, why would she ask me in the first place?
Yeah,
Like,
because I can see from other people's perspective of why didn't he just say no when she asked him to go on a one-on-one?
and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna answer that. So
Okay.
think about this. I'm on a date and a competition show.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled me away from the person that I was interested in, and she picked another person. So now, if I don't go on this date, I
Mm-hmm.
go home pretty much because I don't get an opportunity to You know, like the guy Bailey, he didn't get an opportunity, a fair chance, because he didn't go on a date at all. So
Yeah.
it was either go on this date or not go on one at all.
Yeah. Were you ever at all interested in Delicious?
I
Should I say London?
London, yeah. I think London is amazing. I think she's a great person. I do not feel like I was more attracted to her than
K.
K
Michelle.
Michelle.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was. It's, when you know, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you got to be realistic and real with yourself before you can be real with anybody. So it's like I seen her, and yeah, she's really sexy. Like, don't get me wrong, like amazing looking woman. I can't take nothing from her from as far as that goes, but the personality is what I'm attracted to, and I just didn't feel like our personalities clicked well.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying a lot in my videos is that, no disrespect to, to Delicious, but at times I feel like she said that she didn't want to lead with her body, but every scene we saw her leading with her body. And
Yeah.
I wonder, did people really get the opportunity to see her personality more than what was on the outside, the physical?
I mean, how could you? You get what I'm saying? If you come out here and your boobs are out and your the bottom of your butt is hanging out, I'm a man. I'm gonna look at that. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that's gonna be attractive for the moment, but it's not somebody that I plan on having next to
Long
me. Like,
term. Yeah.
yeah, so that I mean, because that I mean, what are we showing the world that for? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like a show like this is it's got so many different things that it could do for the world and for the dating world. And I feel like that gives the message that's going on outside
Mhm.
already. We're trying to change that,
Mhm.
trying to change that narrative. So it's like, you shouldn't want a man to look at you like that, just like a man shouldn't want to lead with money.
Mhm.
That's an issue. You get what I'm saying, that we're having right now, and men
Yeah.
have done that so long. Now we're blaming women for wanting that, but it's like, who started it? Again, back going to the root.
Mhm.
Men started doing that, and now women are used to it. So when they've had it, you can't expect them to not want it.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. Okay. So we get to y'all being on this date, and Lisa asks you what really happened with you and her daughter. Were you were you surprised by that question? Were you surprised that it wasn't going somewhere else? Tell me about the date scene.
So when she brought that up,
Hmm.
I wasn't expecting it, because, like I said, I was thinking that we were on the same page
Hmm.
as to keeping me on the show and just, playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she said it, that's why if you see me, I'm like, what is about to happen? You get what I'm saying? I'm
How
feeling
we get here?
bamboozled. Yeah, I'm like, yo, what kind of corner am I in outside? This is crazy right now. So it for me, it was a shutdown on top of a shutdown. I was already messed up mentally,
Mhm.
and that just really threw me off, because I'm like, nah, not that. Do you date a mother and a daughter? Like, what picture are we painting right now? You get what I'm saying? I have
Yeah.
children who are gonna probably see this one day. This stuff does not go away.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, absolutely not. You're not gonna make me out to be the creepy dude that's trying to date my ex's mother. It's weird.
Do you feel like that was more of a production kind of plant conversation?
I really don't know. I didn't even listen. I have not even gave that no thought. I just was trying to get out of that moment. You know what I'm saying? It hit so hard, so fast, that it was just like, what
Yeah.
is going on? At this point, when that came up. At this point, I was like basically feeling like everybody was against me at that point, because it's like, what the heck is going on here? Everybody knows what's about to happen but me.
Okay. What was the time frame between the initial gala and that date? Was
It
it the
was
same day?
No, it was the next day. It was
Okay.
Yeah, it was the next day. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 3 days for each episode.
Okay.
Somewhere around 3, maybe 4 days. It depends on what they're doing and how many
Mhm.
people uh they were filming that day and what they were doing. But it's like 3 to 4 days each episode.
So what did you think after the gala was over and you went back to your room and it all was kind of like settling in about what this was? This wasn't what I expected. Kind of what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Oh, I wasn't thinking anything. I was calling. You hear
Oh,
me? Like I was on the phone trying to call her and
oh.
she wouldn't respond. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I'm like, man, and I get why because we're not supposed to be talking, but this is me. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm not gonna be like, yo, well, I just talked to her last night. You get
Yeah.
I was trying to clear the air to find out what we were doing
Mhm.
so we wouldn't cross that line at any point
Mhm.
because I'm just like, wait, if we cross the line, I'm gonna really cross the line. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Because it's no halfway for me. I do
Yeah.
everything at 110%. So
Okay.
if you come at me this way, I'm gonna go all the way. You get what I'm saying? So I was trying to prevent all of that from happening. You know?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next day she asked you that question. Some people feel like that conversation, let's get to the part about the pregnancy, because some people feel like that conversation did need to be aired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you feel about what would your thoughts answering and kind of just being honest about your experience being a man in that type of relationship in that predicament?
Okay. So first, I mean, to answer, like, to respond to the it shouldn't have been aired. I mean, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They don't show you that I tried everything in me to stop myself from going there, but I was trying to stop her from going the way she was going with the story she had, which
Mm-hmm.
was not the truth. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, that's not what happened. I'm like, look, we got to do this. Like, don't go there. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
But she kept going. Well, this is what I talked to this person and that and not. So it was going left, and I'm like, all right. So now you're pushing me to that point where I have to tell the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't. It's not a secret no more because clearly your daughter has told you something that wasn't the 100% truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's no such thing as half truth. Either you're telling
Yeah.
the truth or you're telling a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So this is not no game. This is life. But for people to think that it's like for people to think that men don't feel in those kind of situations, it's completely wrong. It's just men are for our whole lives. You got to think we're built to be strong.
Yeah.
And because nobody really had the formula to do such like that, they created a monster. Like it's, oh well, we don't feel nothing. Don't cry. Don't this. Don't do that. But it was always don't. So when we go through something like that and we actually feel something, but we don't show it the way that women expect it to be shown, they think that we don't feel, but it's not that. We're programmed
Mm-hmm.
to not feel and
Mm-hmm.
not show our feelings, even if we do feel. So that's the position that I was in. I'm like, listen, like that was my child too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just her child. So it wasn't just her situation that I told. I told our situation, but our situation was talked about between her and her mother when it shouldn't have been a conversation between her and her mother. She should have had
Yeah.
a conversation with me. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I just feel like we're grown. We were grown when it happened. Why
Yeah.
couldn't we have that discussion? I don't think mothers or fathers or any parent should be in a relationship that their child's in. I think that's crazy.
Well, I think there are levels to the how a parent shows up in their child's relationship, different layers to it. But when
Right.
it goes to the vulnerability piece and men having to always be strong, I feel like now we're seeing more men be more vulnerable and having more conversations about what they're going through. But I also see women kind of weaponizing that and saying like we're in a sassy man era. You're
Right,
too soft for me. So
right,
I hear women saying that they want more vulnerability, more openness, but when it happens, I feel like a lot of women do not know how to hold the space and be emotionally intelligent
right.
to hold the space of vulnerability, and they weaponize at times men's vulnerability.
Right. I'm so sick of that word spicy and all of that. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah,
come on.
sassy, zesty.
Sassy. All of that is crazy to me because I'm still who I am. I'm still a man, but I
Mhm,
have feelings just like everybody else. And it's time for men to stand on 10 toes and let the world know that we do feel. Now we don't have to cry in the car while we driving by ourselves. You
mhm,
get what I'm saying? We do it all the time, but you'll never hear a man admit it because, like you said, it's being weaponized. Like
mhm,
that's crazy to me. It's
mhm.
like you want me to be this person, you want me to protect you, you don't want me to feel, but then you want me to feel something for you. How? Like, what is? It's confusing.
Yeah,
It's real
yeah.
misleading, you know. And it's like, how do we come to that midpoint and meet each other in that middle and have an understanding? We don't get that if
Mhm,
it's always one-sided. You get
mhm.
what I'm saying? It's crazy. But
Yeah, I think there's a lot of black and white thinking where it's one way or the other. There's no gray. And a
yeah,
lot of people are in relationships with people who have black and white thinking, and they're not realizing that hurts the relationship and has it really end because people can't sit in the gray. It's either a
right,
yes or a no. You with me or you not with me. It's like
right.
there's a lot of gray areas in relationships, a lot of nuances also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
So it was good to hear for me a man share his perspective on a woman deciding to terminate her pregnancy. It also made me kind of wonder about her relationship with her mother at that time. That it sounds like she was trying to live up to her mom's expectations during that season of her life. That also had your relationship come to an end.
Right, right. No, yeah, I think that message really hit for a lot of people,
Hmm.
because it's a lot of that going on. Um, we have to start talking to one another, and
Hmm.
that's parents, that's siblings, that's because when when that kind of thing happens, it's a trickling effect. You get what I'm saying? So when you're not able to communicate with your parents and let your parents know how you feel, what you're feeling, what you're going through,
Hmm.
that means that you're holding all of that in, and it
Hmm.
creates a monster. It turns you into another person. So
Hmm.
then you wonder why things in your life aren't going right. It's because you're not all the way right,
Yeah.
but you're not also open to having that conversation because you can't even talk to your mother.
Yeah.
That it starts in the home. How do I expect you to love me if you don't love yourself enough
Yeah.
to be real with you, who you are?
Hmm.
Be real with your mother and your family and all of that stuff. How could I expect you to be ready to be a mother if
Hmm.
you can't even talk to yours?
And I think that's a piece nobody wants to talk about either. It's easier to kind of blame, the man for the relationship ending, but like on each side, to me, I always think about the emotional intelligence, where
Right,
people are mentally, the maturity to be in certain types of relationships. How does your self worth show up? Your confidence, your self esteem, all that stuff from childhood pours into how you show up in relationships.
absolutely. I
Mhm.
totally agree. Yeah.
So you guys have this conversation, then you're very vulnerable and you share a lot about your own experience in that relationship. How was that for you to be on TV being that vulnerable?
It wasn't unfamiliar for me. So back in '07,
Mm-hmm.
I was in college. I was on a college football scholarship, and I was raising a little girl that ended up not being mine. I found out on Maury.
Oh, you went on Maury?
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was like one of those things that it was kind of like a setback for me for a second. Like I went back, I like relapsed and went back into that space that I got out of. and this time I couldn't really take it. You know what I'm saying? Like it hit me different because I knew where it was going and the how widespread this was going to be, how much the critics would take advantage of certain things, and I
Mhm.
knew how it happened before, but this was going to be a lot different because of the scenario and
Mhm.
how it was played out. So it kind of it put me back. It put me in a bad space mentally
Mhm.
for a nice little minute, and I
Okay.
had to step back and just really reflect on what was going on around me. And I got a lot of people from around me because I started my radar went up,
Mhm.
and now I'm starting to pay attention. And I was just like, yeah, this is something is gonna go bad,
Mhm.
and I had to just let people go, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, man, these people are not for me. But sometimes it takes for that radar to go up for you to even realize that. So that was the good that came out of the situation, is that I was able to get other people that weren't good for me away from me because of
Mhm.
that radar.
Mhm.
But definitely it wasn't unfamiliar at all. It was
Okay.
a crazy situation, that happened back in '07. To give up a scholarship to raise a girl, and I had
Yeah.
her name tattooed on my chest, and it was serious.
You were all in.
Yeah, I was all in. I
Mhm.
mean, to give up something that I worked so hard for, it was crazy. See, this is the backstory that they didn't know. So
Mhm.
I wish Lisa Raye knew that, because she probably wouldn't have done what she did. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Because I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's an amazing woman. Like I
Yeah.
don't take nothing from her.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person. As a black woman, she's a queen. She's like amazing person. She's cooked for me. This woman has always treated me with nothing but respect. So I take
Mhm.
nothing from her at all. But I do feel like if she knew that I went through what I went through, she would have never done that and put me back in that space.
Do you think if she was to see this interview, would it be the first time of her hearing about this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't think she would have. I don't think her daughter shared it with her, but
Mhm.
I doubt it. I mean, she didn't even share the pregnancy
Yeah.
situation, so I doubt that she would share my business if she
Yeah.
was sharing her own. So, um, yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, I'd hope that she would watch a video like this and
Mhm.
get a better understanding. I just actually spoke with her this morning on
Okay.
yeah, on the show that we did this morning. They called her, and we all talked on the interview, which was cool. But
Okay.
that was the first communication since the show. I mean, it's
Oh, so you haven't talked to her since the show?
no, I've talked to Kai, but I haven't
Mhm.
talked to, Kai been chewing me out, and I had to come from a place of understanding, but you got to think of where I was mentally. I was thinking that she played a part in it. She says
Mhm.
that she didn't. I can't go against that because I don't know, but when you got the camera on you, there is no do-overs.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's how it comes out is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's what she's not understanding. And it's crazy that she's been on reality TV, so she should know that this stuff happens, but she's never been in my shoes. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? She didn't walk down and see my mom downstairs, and
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
in shell shock. So I don't care. Like, she can fuss with me, like she's pretty much beefing with me. I mean, I'm not beefing with her. Like, I told her, like, we should have a conversation. You get what I mean? The problem with people today is they don't communicate. Like,
Right.
so much stuff can be resolved if people just have a simple conversation, and
Mhm.
then not only have a conversation, talk to someone, not
Mhm.
speaking at them.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, don't attack a person when you're trying to resolve something, because
Mhm.
nothing will get resolved. And that's what. And I noticed that a lot of women are doing that today, and it bothers me because it takes the respect out of the situation. And I'm not, I was raised to not disrespect women.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
how many women were raised to not disrespect men. How do we know? You get what I'm saying? Like it wasn't as common as, because I feel like men had a duty to respect women and hold them to a certain standard, but I don't feel like a lot of people preached that to their daughters. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's going on right now, and
Mm-hmm.
not back in the day, like when we were growing up, things were
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
But now I don't feel like they're having that conversation. Oh, girl, he got money. Oh, you better get that money. Get all this.
yeah.
It's all about funds, but are you
What's
really?
beyond that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the lesson is not being taught, and it's because these young parents are raising young these young people, and they don't even have the knowledge. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's like the blind leading the blind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like we're missing from back in the day. I don't think we should live like the back in the day people, because granddaddy had a whole family down the street. You know what I'm saying?
A
Like,
lot of stuff we can leave in the back.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? But those kind of values that should always be in us is not being taught. It's kind of like taking it to like elementary school, how they would take signatures
Mm-hmm.
like cursive writing out of school. How do you expect this child to sign their name? You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
There's a
You
lot of
take
lazy
those.
parenting now.
Right. So you take those
Mm-hmm.
things out, and then you get the problems that we have today. Now you got a lot more women disrespecting a lot more men. That's why they're weaponizing these things that men are trying to tap into. We're
Mm-hmm.
trying to tap into them so women can understand us more.
Mm-hmm.
But are women trying to help us understand them?
Yeah.
You can't do that by using the things that I tell you against me.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem that I'm having, and I don't think it's an all women thing. I don't think it's an
Mm-hmm.
all men thing. It's never that. Everybody is an individual, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all different, and things happen in our life in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. But I do think that change can happen if we focus on us being individuals first.
Right.
We got to fix who we are before we're trying to expect people to love
Yeah.
us. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, you got to be, and like I always say this. So to have a successful relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you both need to be at 100% mentally. That
Mm-hmm.
way, when I mentally pour into you, your cup is already full,
Mm-hmm.
so it automatically pours back into me. You get what I'm saying? So our cup is never empty. It's
Mm-hmm.
never low. It's always at the rim, and it's just it creates a circuit, and it never fails
Right.
until somebody breaks it.
Yeah.
So somebody's not 100% mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's not about finances. I don't need a woman to be financially on my level. I need her to be mentally on my level.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Very
and,
true.
and that right there, the possibilities are endless, because when you're mentally there, you're not going to see me as a meal ticket. You're not going to look at me as a piece of paper or some money and a coin. It's not going to be that. You're going to see me and you're going to say, well, dang, I want to work hard so my man can be on the beach with me, and I don't have to be on the beach with my homegirls all the time. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? How do you get that if I'm always at work and I'm doing everything around here, but you're doing nothing and enjoying vacation? So you're enjoying the fruits of my labor, but I'm not enjoying it. You get what I'm saying? So now you
Yeah.
want to know why I got a mistress at the office, and she's the secretary. Yeah, because she has a job and she's willing to do what you're not willing to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good perspective. I think it goes both ways on the man's side, on the women's side. It has to be an equal playing field and equally yoked mentally. And I think people don't focus on that. They focus so much on the physical and what can you offer me, what you bring to the table. But what's
Right.
beyond that? What happened when that table is broke? Or we
Right.
can't afford the table no more. What else is going to be left?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no foundation. These people have nothing to fall back on. That's why. And then you know what they say? They say marry your best friend. So they don't say get married and make him your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
We're skipping steps in life. You don't skip steps. Otherwise, when you do have to take a step back, you know what you're going to do? You're going to forget that you skipped that step. So it wasn't a step there in the first place, and you're going to
Yeah.
fall and you're
Yeah.
going to fail. So your foundation is everything. You can't build nothing unlevel on an unlevel playing field. So it's like, listen, let's focus on being friends and learning one another and liking one another, because
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
step we're skipping to. We get to loving people before we even like them, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
crazy to me. I think that's backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you
Yeah.
love me and you don't even like me? You know if you like them because you'll want to do things with them. You'll want to experience things with them. They say opposites attract. Yeah, they do, but they don't stay together because they have nothing in common. Like, what are we talking about? They only they're attracted to you because they want to be like you. I don't want someone to be like me. I want someone to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So now, if I want to go to the football game, you don't like football, I'm forcing you to go
Yeah.
to this football game, and you really want to go to watch ballet, but I don't want to
Mhm.
go there neither. You get what I'm saying? So what are we really doing? We're wasting time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have to break that cycle
Yeah.
and get with people who are like us and stop running from that. People fear that, and I don't understand why. You can actually enjoy going places with the person that likes what you like.
But I think so many people are so focused on just being in a relationship, getting the title, that they're willing to become a chameleon just for the title or just for the relationship. I can just mold
Right.
myself to the wife you want me to be, or the girlfriend you want me to be, because I see the money, I see the life. I want.
Right. Right. Which is
Mm-hmm.
it's just backwards, man.
Yeah.
And then you get, then it goes sour, and then you wondering like, well, where did it go wrong? It was wrong from the
Yeah.
beginning,
That
and you're not gonna,
foundation.
yeah, you're not even gonna figure out what was wrong because it was at the beginning, and you're not gonna go that far down. When
Mm-hmm.
you start thinking about it, you're gonna think it's something that recently happened, and no, y'all never been on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you can't expect down the line to be on the same page. You just thought you were on the same page. You're forcing love, and it does not work like that. You got
Right.
people who are out here wanting to say they love someone so bad that they'll do anything for it. And I'm just not that person. I would rather
Mm-hmm.
be single and by myself and love on myself so
Mm-hmm.
I can know how to receive the person that loves me the way I love me.
Yeah. Keyword receive the love. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Good.
right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we get. I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a work in progress. You know, it's
Yes,
about
we all
learning
are.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are. It's that's what it's about. You know, if you don't learn nothing, see, you know what? I think in life, people are so afraid of failure, but failure is your biggest teacher. You don't learn nothing. You can't tell a winner anything. You know why? Because they won.
Hmm.
Why would they listen to you? You lost. They're not going to listen to you. No, absolutely not. I'm the winner. Oh, no, no, no. But the problem is people don't understand how much of a push losing is for you. You have so much ahead of the person that won because you know how to lose.
Hmm.
So when you know how to lose and you learn how to win, you know how not to lose. You
Very
get what I'm
true.
saying? They
Yeah.
don't. They only know how to win. So when they lose, they lose everything and they go insane. And then you got people who doing mental, mentally challenging things like killing
Hmm.
themselves and all kind of shooting other people and fighting and just
Hmm.
doing nonsense because they're lashing out. But
Hmm.
they're lashing out because they don't know how to lose. I love losing because I learn something every time.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got to stop running from that. The
Yeah.
loss is really the
Yeah.
strength. Yeah, that's
Well,
where
speaking of losing a little bit, what did you think when you were at that dinner and you were the bottom three on that show? Did you think that you were going to be leaving? What was kind of your mind at that point?
absolutely not. I thought I was locked in. You know,
Even after that conversation?
yeah, because K Michelle and I had a long conversation on the sofa. They
Oh,
did not show it, and they showed a little piece of it, but
uh-huh.
they didn't show the whole thing. And she was like, "I like him," because something she said earlier in the show. She said, "I like a man with soft hand. I mean, hard, rough hands."
Hmm.
So I'm sitting at the mixer in the beginning, and I'm like, yo, I had to tell her, I was like, yo, you like hard hands, but I just scrubbed my hands for like an hour. You hear me? To come here with some soft hands. So she felt my hands. She was like, Norm, your hands are softer than mine. I'm like, what? Absolutely not. I can't. So I had to tell her, I'm like, yo, I just scrubbed my hands. My hands are always hard. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a worker. I like working with my hands. So it was just crazy. But she said, I like him. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna go to the dinner and she's gonna save me. But then I realized that it was only three of us.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be four of us.
Oh, okay.
So if you pay attention to the show, it's four people at elimination every time.
Mm-hmm.
Chris had a family emergency and he had to leave, so he couldn't be on the show that at that point. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why I ended up in the position that I ended up in. I don't think
Oh,
Chris would
okay.
have made it past the first episode if because she Delicious was locked in on other people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So I don't think he would have made it through, but I don't know. You get what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
just my
yeah.
thought, but they couldn't send me home. They couldn't keep me there and not explain why he didn't, like why he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I felt like that played a part, but I really have no clue and no proof of it. But that's just what I thought. But um, I don't know. But I didn't expect what happened to happen because
Mm-hmm.
the ladies were like digging me, both K Michelle and Delicious. We were bugging out. I was now myself at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got to meet Norman.
Because by then it was what, day 3 or 4? You had been there for a
This was
minute.
day three. Yeah, this was day three. So but I wasn't interacting with them the whole time. It was just now I don't have this pressure on me no more because we let out the cat got out the bag already. Now I'm like, look, that's why I said to Delicious, I want a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be able to show y'all who I am because
Yeah.
you're not getting that, and it just I didn't get that opportunity. I didn't get enough of that opportunity
Mm.
until I got to that last mixer, and it just wasn't enough time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the situation that was at hand. I mean, just imagine how messy it could have got. I'm just like, yo, did I really want to be on the show still? I don't know now because I'm like, yo, if me and if Kai and I would have been on the same set together, like how would that have? You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It was some messiness in the background.
You said it was somewhat.
It sounded like it was some messiness going on in the background.
Yeah, and that's what I was afraid of. And I'm like, look, I don't want this to be love and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Where
not
Mona
doing
Scott
that.
at?
Yeah, I just wanted I thought this was just love, not love and hip hop. But it
It's
just
still a
clearly
reality show. It's still a reality show.
right. And they had to it's funny too though, because I wasn't supposed to come on the first episode.
Oh.
So think about where my mind is going at this time. I'm like, I was going on episode 3. All of
Oh,
a
okay.
sudden, last minute, they call me and switch me to 1. And I'm like, so all of this is playing in
Mm,
my head. I'm like, yo, has this been a setup the whole time? You get
mm,
what I'm saying? Like, why did y'all change my episode?
mm-hmm.
It's not making something ain't adding up, and I'm not stupid by far. So I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I pay attention. That's a part of a man. We pay attention to the surroundings. I read the room, and
Mm-hmm.
the room was telling me something crazy. And I'm like,
The energy
something
there was like it was a setup.
right. And
Yeah.
it took over my body. Listen, and I was like, look, I'm like, yo, y'all not about to paint me out to be nothing crazy on this joint. Like, listen, let me come out, let me let it all out there. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So
Now, since the show, have you kept in contact with any of the men? Have you watched the further? Did you watch the whole season?
I did. I just watched the whole season. I binged it.
Okay.
Because I realized that we were doing interviews together, and I wasn't really knowing what was
Yeah.
going on. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So for me to be able to engage a little bit more, I I,
Hmm.
I did watch it. But I talk to the guys all the time. Like honestly, I think the show still did what it was supposed to do because I didn't get a woman from the show, but I got like brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like we're locked in. Like we all cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole you know,
A brotherhood,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah, like we all cool. Like I'm talking about, we all helping each other. We're all pushing one another. Anytime somebody gets something, we pushing it to somebody else so they can, tap into that person. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's definitely been a great thing. We
Okay.
were on Michael Collier morning show this morning,
Hmm.
and that was Zeus put that together. So it was, and we
Okay.
just tapping in with each other. You know what I'm saying, and just connecting and making
That's
moves.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anything you want us to know that we didn't see, or any follow-ups from anything about the show?
Mm, no, I mean, I pretty much tapped into everything, but yeah. Listen, the
Did
toxicity
you
is
get a
out of there.
release today? A release? You had to release
Yeah, I
something?
did. I've been releasing for a minute now. This is crazy. I mean, it's definitely something I'll never forget. I
Hmm.
could honestly say that. The love I'm because some women have been understanding a lot. Let me not even say some. A lot of people,
Hmm.
men, women, have all been contacting me, which is a great thing. Like I love that because I s- I see that people seen the other side of the
Yeah.
situation. They didn't just go into it and be a fan of Lisa Raye's and say, "Oh, well, why would he do that?" Not. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be. I'm not the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? I would never want to be painted like a bad guy, but then I don't want nobody else to paint me
Hmm.
like that by
Hmm.
throwing false things on my name. You get what I'm saying? I still have to be me after
Hmm.
the show, and that's what people aren't realizing. And they don't. That it's easy to say you wouldn't do something until you're in that situation.
Right. Very true. Very true from the
That
outside. Yeah.
open.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but I'm grateful for all the love, all
Hmm.
the people have been showing me a
Hmm.
lot of love. The women are they in my DMs like, "Ray, listen, it's crazy. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what. See, women are like hitting me up talking about something. Well, you told me to hit you up, and I'm like, wait, what? But you said if anybody was, I'm like, no, that's not. I didn't even know they were gonna put that in there. But I'm not against it though. I love the love, and I show
Hmm.
love. I respond to everyone as many as I can because it's ridiculous. Like the
Hmm.
request box is insane.
Well, I'm
Um,
glad my message got through.
yeah, I know it's just one of those things. If I'm on there at a certain
Hmm.
time and I see it come through, I'll jump on it immediately. If not, it's not gonna be there no more because the
Hmm.
messages come in that crazy.
Hmm.
It's sickening.
Yeah.
But I do want to show love. When they're showing love, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Okay. Well,
definitely.
tell my audience, where can they find you? Your socials, what you got coming up?
All right, definitely. Yeah, on Instagram, I am Norman Wakefield. On TikTok, I'm Norman J Wakefield.
Mhm.
They deleted my other one, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But yeah, so I'm starting back over fresh with that. But like I said, I do have some projects coming up I can't talk about. I wish I could, but yeah, them forms not gonna play with nobody. Hear me? Like
Yeah,
the
I
confidentiality
get it.
go crazy. So but yeah, like I'm definitely gonna be, tap into my socials and you'll
Mhm.
see everything that I'm going in getting into and when I can talk about it,
Mhm.
it'll be posted for sure.
Okay. Well, once again, I appreciate you coming on my channel, giving me an interview, your perspective, the male perspective, vulnerability, mental health. It's all positivity over here. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Definitely. I appreciate you having me. Also, too, anybody looking for a realtor in
Oh,
LA,
yeah, yeah.
listen, I'm easy going. Look, you get the phone number, you get to communicate with me, you get to meet me, look. Nah, but look, if anybody looking for a house, sell, rent, buy, whatever,
Mhm.
I do it all. So tap in. I also do taxes. I have a tax business of 17 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I do taxes. So anybody, those flyers are about to go up in a week. So that'll be up on the socials as well. So just
All
tap
right.
in.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Looking forward to all the future endeavors that you're going to do. And I will keep my eye on what you got next going on.
That's what's up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.